Hi, my name is Arthur, and I'm going to discuss 7 negotiation mistakes when buying a condo in South Florida. Number 1, don't make a lowball offer that can't be defended. Lowball offers were more prevalent during the pandemic's peak. If you've done your homework, you'll know there are a lot of neighborhoods where the market now favors sellers, and that means bidding wars. Miami Beach, Sunny Isles, and most of South Florida have seen prices rise and listings struggle to keep up with demand. A lowball offer can mean you won't be taken seriously. Lowballing in a down market is acceptable, but you have to make sure you're still in a down market. These days in South Florida, properties for the most part go for over asking, so lowballing is not a strategy you want to use. If you're coming in with a bid well below asking, you also need to have evidence that the apartment is overpriced. That means providing statistics, trends, or comparative sales, what we realtors call comps, to justify your lowball bid. Have a conversation with your realtor so you'll be able to make an informed offer accompanied by a well-reasoned analysis that makes sense to the seller. This is where you need the help of an expert, a broker you can trust, who understands the market and can help you know what the correct price is. Number 2, don't go for just any broker. Pick a broker you trust who has experience in negotiating. Consider their training, education, and experience level, as well as attitude and reputation. Interview several brokers because once you choose who to work with, you'll need to trust what they're saying and how they're advising in the negotiation process. Number 3, don't negotiate single isolated terms. One of the biggest mistakes is to have a price in mind that you won't budge on. Instead of focusing on price alone, it's more effective to negotiate a package that takes into consideration other aspects of the deal, like the deposit, the contingency, or the closing specifics. For example, if you don't want to go much higher on price, perhaps you can offer a non-refundable deposit at a higher percentage to show you're serious. Find out what else the seller wants and see if you can offer it. Number 4, don't disappear if you haven't received the counteroffer. Staying on top of the seller's broker is important. If you make an offer but don't follow up, you will likely lose the apartment. When a buyer doesn't follow up after making an offer, the seller's agent sees a buyer who isn't serious. If there's a lot of interest in the property because it is well priced, it's even more important to stay in touch with the seller's broker. When the seller does not counter, the buyer should go back to the seller's broker and get a sense of whether other offers have been countered. If this is the case, the buyer needs to come in with a stronger offer, within 10% of the asking price. If the property has been on the market for a while, buyers can afford to have more patience, but should still check in with the seller's broker on a regular basis. Number 5, don't talk too much in front of the seller's agent. When you're viewing a place, for example, it would be unwise to share your motivations for buying or anything that might be used against you. You don't want to be identified as a buyer who has few other options. The apartment is your only choice, or you have a tight deadline. These are details that can be used as leverage. By discussing your financial details within earshot of the seller's agent, you might give them reason to believe you can afford more than you initially offer, or without knowing it, could be disqualifying yourself as a buyer by inadvertently underselling your qualifications. Number 6, have a plan B. Your plan B shouldn't be to give up and hunt for another apartment, but to have a new strategy for your negotiation. How can you make your current offer more attractive to the seller? This is why it's important to negotiate a package rather than just the price. Make sure you spend some time planning what your next move will be. Ideally, your broker will have spoken to the seller's broker and worked out what it will take to close the sale. Maybe the seller wants to rent back the apartment for a month or 2, or would be willing to close if you paid a higher non-refundable deposit. Number 7, write up an offer. An offer is more than just a number scribbled on a piece of paper. In South Florida, a lot of brokers will send a purchase contract with the terms of the offer to show the seriousness of the buyer. Your offer should be carefully crafted and explain the offer as well as the reasoning behind it, referencing supporting information about comparable sales. The seller's broker will show your offer to the seller, so it's in your best interest to present yourself as a serious bidder who's taking the time to send the purchase contract and make the offer in writing. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me anytime with any questions.